Now live on LBC News, Huw Edwards, who is CEO of ukactive, is here. Good afternoon, Huw.
Good afternoon to you.
How's it been with the gyms being closed? Have you missed it?
Absolutely. It's been a very challenging second lockdown, especially at the start of this calendar year. This is the most important time, popular time for gyms, pools and leisure centres, where they get usually a significant increase in membership as well. So it's been a challenging period for the operators and the organisations themselves, but millions of people across the country have also missed going to the gym, their pool and leisure centre, because it brings so much for their physical, mental and social well-being.
How different will it look? I mean, I asked that question because obviously there's going to the gym pre-pandemic, then there's going to the gym with either tiering or rule of six. It depends where you are. It gets very, very complicated. Where are we at?
Where we're at is that we developed last year, when we were open at elements of 2020, the framework for gyms, pools and leisure centres with the government. We took Jonathan Van Tam around facilities, and he was very much involved in the construction and development of that joint framework with ourselves and with the government and its advisors. So what you'll have is very much what it was like before that last lockdown. So we were, as we can recall, at the end of last year, outside of that tier system as a facility, because we're an essential service. We provide so much importance to communities across the country, and so we were outside of that. Then obviously the second lockdown kicked in, and so we're very relieved and excited getting back into business on Monday.
Do you have any sort of data as to whether or not gyms were or weren't a place of spreading infection?
Yeah, we worked very hard with our operators and with government throughout the period when we were open. I think when we closed for the second time for the lockdown, we'd had coverage of data from 75 million visits, and our facilities were effectively COVID secure with 1.7 cases per 100,000 visits. That's testament to the great professionalism of the sector, and also the customers and workforce who were incredibly diligent when they were going to the gym and practicing everything from high levels of hygiene through to social distancing, and the high levels of ventilation that were in these facilities as well.
Did you presumably ended up freezing people's accounts if they were indeed signed up? Have you lost people?
Well, we've lost probably over the last year, around 400 facilities, and that's been the real tragedy is, the government has given support across sectors, but, there's still some gaps around bespoke financial support for our sector, which we're still discussing with government. But regrettably, some facilities, both private operators and public leisure facilities, local authority gyms, haven't made it through. And so, that's a great tragedy. There'll be 400 communities out there who haven't got their local facilities. So whilst Monday is a start, we need to work really hard with the government to get up people's activity levels again and support these facilities, these vital, essential facilities, to make sure they can support the communities they operate in.
Well, we are talking a lot about fresh air and people making sure that if you are indoors, that you get that ventilation. Are there any measures in place to try and ensure that's happening in the gym where people, let's face it, should be sweating?
Yeah, absolutely. There's part of the framework which we agreed with government was around ventilation measures. So, putting the highest possible ventilation procedures in place. So ensuring there is a good circulation of air through these facilities, and that's been part of the red lines for both the sector and the government in terms of our ability to operate. And these facilities are safe. They've been proven that, with those tens of millions of visits over the four of the last months when we were open last year, and that shows that we are a safe and essential facilities for the community to use.
Presumably you want people to book so it doesn't become overcrowded. Is there pent-up demand?
There is a lot of demand. I mean, from our own consumer polling, members are saying that 90% of members will say that they'll utilise these facilities at the same level, if not more. So it's going to be a question of working with the operators, working with their customers on managing flow in and out of facilities. And then obviously there's working with the government and agencies on how we can move at some point from positions where there is open with restrictions to a position where there aren't any restrictions in place, which is what we all want, really.
And presumably, as people do emerge from the winter of hibernation, and yes, of course, I know that some people have done some home gym stuff or perhaps been doing HIIT workouts in the garden or the balcony or whatever they do have. There's the message to take it easy because we might be a little bit out of practice.
Yeah, there's going to be part of that, and it's about how people just go back and enjoy getting back into the rhythm of using their gyms, pools and leisure centres. And as well as the enjoyment of getting, physically fit and supporting your mental well-being, we do so much more beyond that in terms of providing services for extensions of services for the NHS. 66% of prehab, rehab cancer treatment takes place in gyms and leisure centres. And so we are an extension of the NHS in that respect.
I should get down the gym as I am Jim Diamond.
Yeah, we should do. And maybe next week is a good time to start.
All right, we'll see if we can do that. And it is, of course, it's just for the avoidance of doubt, it is JIM. And the Diamond's to spell diamond. Thank you so much, Huw Edwards, CEO of UK Active.